Hello guys and welcome to the first English video on my channel, and in today's video we're going to code Pong, the famous game, on Python 3.7.2 with the help of pygame. So let's start directly into the code, and at first, if you didn't install pygame yet, you have to type into your console pip install pygame and enter this, and then it will be installed properly, but I don't have to do it because I already installed it. So let's dive into the code. At first we need to import our modules, pygame, random. We need random in order to generate random numbers, and we also need sys, which is needed in order to close our game properly. And then we will set the width of our screen, which is 500 later pixels, and our height of our screen is also 500 pixels, and then we set the bed width, which will be 100, the bed height, which will be 15, and our bed x, our bed y, which will be 450, and then we are going to set our x coordinate of our ball, which is the integer of x divided by 2, because we want to center our ball, at least at first. Our ball y will be the integer of y divided by 2. Then we are going to set the radius of our ball, which will be 15, and the speed of our bed, which will be 0, the ball x speed, which is 1, and the ball y speed equals -2. The player will have 3 lives in order to play this game, and then we will initialize our pygame module, and every time we work with pygame we have to initialize it at first. So let's do this. Then we set our screen on which our game will be displayed, pygame.display.set_mode. Then we write into the list our x and y variable. Then we will fill our screen with black, and because all colors are created in Python with RGB, we need to type here 000, because black actually has no red, no green, and no blue. And then we will draw our ball the first time. Pygame.draw.circle. Then in brackets green. The color of the ball will be 255, 255, and 0, which is yellow. And then the coordinates of our ball, which are ball x and ball y. Then the radius of our ball, which is ball red, and 0, which means that our circle will be filled. Then we draw our bed. Pygame.draw.rect in brackets green. The color 55 and 0. This is a light red, and then we need to put in brackets the coordinates of our bed x and bed y, our bed width, and our bed height, and last but not least a 0. And because every time we draw something in pygame we have to flip the display in order to see it, and because of this we type pygame.display.flip and brackets. And then we are finished with the first part of the code, because now we will write some functions. At first, our methods, bed block. There we need the global speed. And if the bed x is smaller than 0, smaller or equal than 0, or bed x is bigger or equal x minus bed width, then our speed will be set to 0, because we want to break our bed if it reaches some of the two walls. And then we will define ball movement, which is the method in which the ball gets moved, and it has the globals ball x and ball y, and we just add to ball x speed, and to ball y we add ball y speed. And then we are already finished with this method. Then we will define reset, and reset should reset all variables if the player has lost one time. So we need the globals ball y speed, ball x speed, ball x, ball y, bed x and bed y, and last but not least speed. Then we will say that bx equals 200, by equals 450, so the coordinates of their beds are already set. Then we will reset our ball x and our ball y, which will be equal to int x divided by 2 and int y divided by 2. Then our speed is set to 0. Our ball x speed is equal to random.randint -2 to 2. This means that ball x speed will be a random integer between -2 and 2. And it also could be that our ball x speed becomes 0. And if this is the case, if ball x speed equals 0, then our ball x speed is set to 1, because we always want to move our ball in order to keep the game running. And ball y speed is basically the same, equals random.randint -2 to 2. And we write the same if statement as before. If ball y speed equals 0, then the ball y speed will be set to 2. And then we're going to fill our screen with black color. Screen.fill in double brackets 0, 0, 0. And then we're going to draw our ball and our bed again, which can be copied from before. And then we write pygame.time.wait 1000 milliseconds. So the game will be paused about 1 second till the player has the ability to play again. And then we write the next method, which will be ball block. Has the globals ball y speed, ball x speed, and lives. And then we will ask if ball y minus ball radius is smaller or equal to 0, then the ball y speed will be multiplied with -1. And if ball x minus ball radius is smaller or equal to 0, then the ball x speed will be multiplied with -1. And if ball x plus ball red is bigger or equal to x, we write ball x speed is multiplied with -1. So these three if statements are basically the cases when our circle or ball collides with our left, the right, or the wall at the top. And now we are going to write what happens if the ball collides with the bottom. So if ball y is greater or equal to 435 and ball y is smaller or equal to 440, then we will check if our ball x is bigger or equal to bat x minus 15 and ball x is smaller or equal to bat x plus bat width plus 15. And if this is the case, our ball y speed is going to be multiplied with -1, and else the player will have less lives, exactly 1 less, and then the method reset will be called. Last but not least, we need the method bat move in order to move our bat every time, and we need a global bat x, and then we write bat x plus equal speed, and then we are already finished with all of our methods. And right now we are going to write the main loop together with the event handler. So we write while lives are bigger than 0 for event in pygame.event.get brackets if event.type equals pygame.quit, then we will call sys.exit. So if the player clicks at the cross in the right corner, the game will be closed properly. And if event.type is equal to pygame.keydown, so if any key gets pressed, it will check if the event.key is pygame.key_left, which means the left arrow on the keyboard, and then the speed will be set to -2. And if the event.key is equal to pygame.key_right in caps again, then the speed will be set to 2. So right now we're finished with the event handler, and we're going to fill our screen black 0 0 0. Then we're going to call the method bat move, bat block, and then we draw the bat dot draw rect for rectangle on the surface screen with the same color as before, with the coordinates bat x and bat y, the bat width and the be bed height and 0, so the bed is filled with color. Then we're going to call the method ball movement, ball block, then draw our ball or circle in this case, dot draw dot circle as before, on the surface screen with the color yellow, then with the coordinates ball x and ball y, like this, then the radius ball red and 0, and then we're going to display dot flip our display in order that the player is able to see the progress made in calculating the objects, and then pygame.time.wait 5 milliseconds so that the game runs in appropriate speed. And last but not least, we are going to print out "you have lost," which is the case if the main loop stopped because the player has no lives left. Right now we're finished with the code and I'm going to start it. The code can also be found in my description on Pastebin, and just like this. You can also start it with a console or double click, but in a console you see the errors if some are made. Right now the game gets resetted. Oh, this ball was in a shitty direction. Right now it is better. So that was it for my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you'll be here next time, and you can give the video a like or comment something. So bye.